1994, a new dispensation was born in South Africa with its new national anthem and with Nelson Mandela as its first democratic president. In the history books, this remains to be one of the most memorable times in the country. The moment signified the death of the apartheid system, which brutally tortured black South Africans for decades. At the time, satisfaction levels with the country's democracy were at over 60%. This brought hope for a better life for all. This year marks 30 years of South Africa's democracy, and it coincides with the general elections to elect the 7th administration under democracy. But there's a marked decline in satisfaction levels with the country's democracy.
South Africans have become very dissatisfied with what is happening in South Africa. So if you ask us, South Africans, and we have this representative survey, South African Social Attitude Survey, satisfaction has dropped over 20 years from 64% to 25%.
The SABC went to the streets of Gauteng province to gauge the level of satisfaction or dissatisfaction with the country's democracy.
It's not working because when you say democracy is for the people, by the people, with the people, now this one doesn't include us.
Perhaps not excited about elections, but I am excited about the future of South Africa.
I think it's easy to take for granted our democracy and the power that it holds. If you look back at about 50 years ago, people were far more disenfranchised.
30 years into democracy, I don't know if there's so much to celebrate.
30 years of democracy, I would say there is to celebrate because of it's not like post-1991.
We can celebrate lots of things because before,
meanwhile, the general elections are around the corner later this year. Many say the polls would be the most important since the dawn of democracy.
I don't even see any reason why should I go and stand in the scorching sun trying to vote for what.
I don't know how much change it's going to make to the ordinary South African on the ground. I've seen over the last 3 decades how political hobnobs have really lined their own pockets.
I think 30 years is a big milestone, and to be honest, I am excited. I think every time elections come around, it's a good indication of the power we have as people.
I'm always excited about an election year. There's much to be celebrated always.
I am excited about elections.
The Human Science Research Council believes that the participation rate at this year's elections will still be low based on the views of ordinary South Africans.
Well, for the local government elections, the participation was very low. So I'm guessing that participation is going to be low with these elections as well. I mean, the IEC is really trying hard to encourage people to register to vote. But we've found that there are a lot of people who are not going to bother to go and vote for numerous reasons. But
SABC News, Johannesburg.